And I'm gonna keep on loving you, 'cause it's the only thing I want do. I don't wanna sleep, I just wanna keep on loving you. I think in a past life, I was probably, I don't know, maybe a good singer. Not now. Definitely not now, but it's just fun. So hello, everyone. I'm finally here. I know, hours later. Hours later, Al's like, "Don't talk about it." I am gonna talk about it because I want you to understand what we go through. We go through things, and I'm sure none of you are gonna be here because you're in the sun and I'm here in a studio, which is fine. I'm happy to do it. Happy to be here. Yeah, we had some, technical snafus, and we finally fixed them, hopefully. I think so. Al busted his bubble and, fingers crossed that it's all good. And I will tell you after this broadcast, I'm going in my pool. I'm doing it. I'm going in my pool. I'm going to float like nobody's business. I am a floater. I am not a swimmer. I like to just float. And Al goes, "Would you like me to get you some Prosecco?" No, because I've had a migraine since 5 a.m. I know. I'm just a whiner today, but it's all right. It's been a long morning already. However, I'm here. Hi, everybody. My name is Kiki. In case you're new here, we have a great online radio station. It's called right there, Kiki.fm, and you can stream it for free. All you got to do is download it in the App Store. And also, if you like music news, entertainment news, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would be awesome if you joined our fabulous community. And also, please, when you get a moment, hit the like button because YouTube likes that and I like that too. It's good for the soul if you hit the like button. And also subscribing is just it's great. It really is just great. And thanks to our members, we've got Red's Ma, we've got Tanya, Patty Taylor, and Deej. Thank you so much for supporting the channel because it keeps us here and it helps to keep Kiki.fm on the air. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We truly do appreciate it. Yesterday was the first amazing yard sale day of the season. I unbelievable, unbelievable day. It was a great, great yard sale day. I got so much stuff. Stuff for me, really. I'm only flipping a few things because I'm trying to get away from that. However, if I see myself a good deal, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna flip it because it is what it is. It's in my blood. I will never not do that. However, I'm not doing it to the extent that I was doing it because we're trying to get rid of stuff. And we're good. We gotta, now the hot season's here, so it probably won't start till the fall. We have to have back-to-back yard sales to get rid of tons and tons and tons of things. Now, if you're thinking of having a yard sale yourself, I gotta tell you, one thing I noticed yesterday, and it was fabulous. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time, but two of the best yard sales we were at, everything was tagged. They had price tags on them, neatly organized, beautifully appointed yard sales, I must say. These ladies, they were ladies who ran them, did such a nice job. And it took them, like I said, it's a lot of time to do that. However, there's no guesswork for you and for the buyer. Everybody knows what the price is. Nobody has to ask you. It's like the little price tags right there. And it just makes things so much easier when it's all organized. They really did show me a thing or two, I have to say. And I just wanted to show you a few handbags I got. Now, this is just a little sample of what I got yesterday. It was such a good day. Every yard sale we hit, except for one or two, was just great. And I just got the best stuff. So hold please, let me just show you. Here's beautiful handbag number one. Now, did I take the price off? I took the price off. Look at this little Michael Kors pink handbag. It is so adorable with the little handles. It is in pristine condition. I'm telling you, pristine, pristine. And also it has, I believe, yep, has the shoulder strap. Has the shoulder strap. The inside of this is immaculate. And on the shoulder strap, actually, it has a chain on either end. So it just gives it a little extra edge to it. And having a little pink bag, there's nothing like it because pink goes with everything. And pink is always so fun in the summertime. And the next bag I got, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this bag. And for those of you who carry handbags, I have to say, the little bag is in right now. You know, you can't fit much in them, but the little bag is in. Stop it. Stop it. This is a little Coach bag. I'm telling you, this lady, I just wanted to go in her house. And I actually told her, look at this bag. It's pristine. I told her, I said, if we can come in your house right now, I'll clean you out. And she's like, no, I'm really serious. Like, I'm dead serious. And this is a Coach bag. I've never seen anything like it. It's adorable. And again, this also has the shoulder strap. You can't make this stuff up. This was the first yard sale we hit too. And the price tag, $10. It's right there, $10. I was all over it. I pretty much cleaned her out. Hold on. And then, now this was my favorite. I did get a few more bags from her, but I didn't want to bore you. So I only picked out my favorites. Another clean Coach bag. This is a Coach bag. You don't see bags like this. You just don't look at it. It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. And the chain, stop. And the inside is actually suede. So this has got to be an older bag. And it still has the plastic in there. And has the little card in here. She paid up for this bag. She paid up, girl. And again, $10. I did not quibble with this lady. I just gave her what she wanted. Stop it. Is that not the cutest bag? This was my favorite out of everything I got. I got a Tory Burch bag, a large Tory Burch leather bag for $7. Like, how do you not? How do you not go? And I got a Lily Pulitzer, very lightweight, knee-length dress. Freaking adorable. $3. $3. I can't tell. Guys, if you don't go to yard sales and buy stuff for yourself, you're missing out. You really are. Yes, they're hit or miss. Absolutely. But when you hit, honey, you're hitting. It's just the best way to shop. And it's so hard to go to, like, I haven't been to the mall to buy something since my kids' weddings, to be honest. It's been that long. Just so it's over a couple of years now. I can't do it. I mean, when you're finding these beautiful items at yard sales for a few dollars, how do you not do it? So just go to, if you're questioning yourself, oh, I don't know, go to a yard sale. If they're in your area and you're driving by one, stop. Just stop. And Sue, my buddy Sue, who we go, again, we go together every weekend pretty much. Not this year though, because it's been raining for like 500 Saturdays in a row. So this literally yesterday was the first perfect day to go, and it worked out. She got her husband a foldable army shovel, and he was so excited. $5, brand new in the box, came with a pouch. He wanted one. She found it, gave it to him, and he was happier than a pig in poo-poo. He just loves it. Great stuff, guys. I'm telling you. And also Facebook Marketplace. You can get some good scores on there too. So there is no reason with everything that we have to be able to buy things that have been pre-loved, pre-owned, used, whatever word you want to use. There's no reason to be able to get it for not a lot of money. You can. Trust me, you can. Been doing this 4 years. Hi, Cindy. How are you today? Happy Sunday. Let me just adjust my screen-a-rooney. There we go. And last night, Al and I well, Al, I'm just gonna say Al did it because I really did nothing. He set up the Kiki.fm station, booth, table, tent. It was great at the Coventry, Rhode Island Summer Fun Festival, and it was fun. It was so fun. There were tons of vendors. I actually bought a bar of goat milk soap. I know, I don't have that with me, but it smells I got the pumpkin scent. It smells so good. And I normally don't buy stuff like that because I could probably get the same I've gotten goat milk soap at yard sales for 25 cents. Brand new, of course, I'm not buying used soap. I don't do that. But wrapped up, brand new, a quarter, maybe a dollar. I paid $7, but I wanted to support somebody, and I bought a couple of chocolate chip cookies from a local baker. So, I do like to support and buy things from our local vendors, but I normally don't buy a lot of stuff because I'm not at a lot of these types of events. But last night, there were so many people set up, tons of people just there to enjoy the band, those guys, and they were really good. They were so much fun. If you're from the Rhode Island area, New England area, actually, they go all over the place. And those guys are performing anywhere near you, go and see them. Tons of fun, lots of energy. And they did a great job with the few Journey songs that they did. I actually posted them on my Instagram at Kiki Classic Rock. You can go check those out. Also, the food trucks, our buddy Matt, he has the truck Meat Sweats RI. I mean, his steak sandwiches are off the chain. I just can't. And he's just the nicest, hardest working guy we know. So go and check him out because he's all over the place too. I'm like, dude, how do you do all that you do? And he's done a lot in his lifetime. And he basically just told me, one night he wasn't he was j does a bunch of things, but he wanted that next big thing that he wanted to do, right? We're around the same age. And he goes, "One night it just came to me to do a food truck." And he said, "I thought of the name, and literally, guys, his business just shot off like a rocket." So kudos to Matt Cowell with Meat Sweats RI. He really does a great job. Bunch of great people who are always working with him. Check him out. Food trucks, such a fun thing to do. Food truck nights, they're very popular here in Rhode Island in the summer. I'm guessing it's a big thing, around other parts of the country too. I know Boston has them. It's just I love going to them. I love going to them. And last night, again, shout out to Coventry Parks and Recreation, Kim and Patrick and the crew. What a great job they're doing for the town. I have to say that they're just making it happen, doing all kinds of fun events. We had the yard sale, the community yard sale not too long ago. That was so much fun. And the kids at this event last night, it was so fun to us to watch the kids having such a great time at a safe event, a family fun event, and just watching them dancing and running around and all connecting with each other. It was just so funny. And this one little girl, go check her out on my Instagram. She sang, is it called Take Me Home Country Road by John Denver? Is that the title? I probably have it wrong, but you know the song, Take Me Home Country Road to the place I belong. This little girl, she had to be 5, is singing the song. I mean, again, she wasn't holding the mic really until the end, but so friggin' cute and so adorable. Go watch that video. I'm still blown away. Like, how does she he was saying the words to her, but I think she knew them. I think she knew the words to the song. I'm going, "How does this kid?" But I love that. I love seeing little kids love our music. Makes me jazzed up. It really, really does. So, whoever's here, welcome to you. I hope you're having a great weekend. Great weekend. But we're just gonna get right into the news today. And here we go. Here we go. Lou Christie, who had the given birth name, and I did not know this, Luigi Alfredo Giovanni Sacco. He passed away at the age of 82 on June 18th of 2025. He was born in Glen Willard, Pennsylvania, and Lou was part of his high school choir as a conductor. He traveled as a session vocalist and wrote many songs with Twyla Herbert, who knew the songs that they wrote together would become hits. I guess she had a sixth sense about herself. Great songwriter, but she also had like a psychic ability from what I read. The name change for Lou came in 1962 from record executive Nick Sensi. And Lou's dad, he approved of the new name because the word Christ was in it. He was a very religious person. Lou's first hit came the same year as the name change, and The Gypsy Cried, written by Twyla and Lou, hit number 24. And this song was not recorded under his new name, but it was recorded under the name Luigi Sacco. Lou's next hit, Two Faces Have I, did even better, peaking at number 6. But when he joined the Army, his career took a left turn for a few years. He bounced right back, though, when he signed with MGM, and Lightning Strikes hit number 1, and Lou was only 23 years old at that time. The following year, in 1966, Rhapsody in the Rain became popular, not because people liked the song, but because of its very naughty nature. Radio stations banned it because Lou mentions kissing and what was really going on inside of the car on that date. Yeah. And I also read that he was comparing it to Romeo and Juliet and their story. So you can only guess what was going through his mind, but really, I mean, the song was pretty lame compared to today's standards, but it was a pretty big deal back then. And here's a fun fact for you. Lou recorded the huge sing-along hit The Lion Sleeps Tonight in the early 70s. I had no idea he really recorded that originally. Not originally, because the song was done in 1939? But Lou did record the song. However, due to an argument between his manager Stan Polly and Neil Bogart, who was with Buddha Records at that time, Lou's voice was eventually replaced with the voice of Robert John, who we know is singing the song, and he took the song to number 3. So, too bad for Lou, but really good for Robert. Lou went on to become very popular on the oldies circuit, and his last recorded record was Don't Knock My Love with Pia Zadora in 1990. Lou leaves behind his wife, Francesca Winfield, his daughter, Bianca, and his son, Christopher, tragically died in an accident in 2014. So rest in peace, Lou Christie. And on to other news. So crazy to think about the movie Jaws having its 50th anniversary. It feels like it just came out yesterday. I mean, Jaws. When Jaws came out, oh my gosh, everybody was afraid to go in the water. Do you remember that? The movie actually came out in 1975 and was directed by Steven Spielberg. Again, like Lou Christie's song, we're thinking, oh my gosh, that song was banned by radio stations. You listen to it today, totally lame. Jaws, everybody was afraid to go in the water, but then when you watch the movie today, and I have, seen clips of it today, it's like, oh my gosh, it looks so mechanical, but back in the day, we didn't think of it that way. I'm rhyming. Every word I'm saying is rhyming with each other. That's just, I don't even plan to do it. I didn't plan that. So it was based on the 1974 novel, also called Jaws, by Peter Benchley, and Roy Scheider was Police Chief Martin Brody. And Richard Dreyfuss, he was the marine biologist, and Robert Shaw was the shark hunter. And the movie was shot pretty much on Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. If you guys haven't been there, we haven't been there in a few years, and I would love to go back. We talk about it every summer. We're going to go. We never end up going, but we really, every year we make an effort. Hopefully this year will be the time we get to go. And it was shot between May and October of 1974. However, the movie was released in 1975, and it was the first major motion picture to be shot on the ocean and consequently had a troubled production as it went over budget and over schedule. And it said the art department's mechanical sharks often malfunctioned, they went kapooey, and Steven Spielberg decided to pretty much just suggest the shark being present because of all the malfunctions they were having with the mechanical sharks. Hence, when you watch the movie today, you're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so not real. So not real." But it was real to us back in 1975. And it actually did go down in motion picture history as it was the summer blockbuster of the year, won tons of awards for both its music and its editing, and was the highest grossing film of all time at that point until Star Wars came out 2 years later. Now that's a fun fact. I didn't know that. But both films were pivotal in establishing the modern Hollywood business model, which pursues high box office returns. Of course, everybody wants the money, honey. And they like it to be from action and adventure films with simple, high concept themes. And both of those films had just that. And in 2001, the Library of Congress selected Jaws for its preservation in the United States National Film Registry. And let's go ahead and share this screen. And this is from CNN, how Jaws turns 50 and it changed pop culture and our perception of sharks, didn't it though? Really? It did. Look how fake that looks. But again, it wasn't fake to us. It really wasn't. And the movie was 2 hours long, which don't you feel as if movies were so much longer back in the 70s? 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Oh my gosh, the 3-hour ones, you're like, "Oh, wow, this is just the greatest thing since sliced bread." And it's so true. And it's let's see, Jaws swallowed Quint. Do you remember who Quint was? I don't. I mean, so long ago. And yes, Jaws would take its victims and rip them underneath the water, and the water around them would turn to the color of ketchup. Yuck. Bad, bad, bad. And I think everything's also changing in our oceans too. There's so many sightings of whales now and sharks. Probably because there's no global warming. There's nothing warning because it really is truly a warning. I mean, that's in my head, right? But we don't have any. I mean, how different is our summer now? Al and I say it all the time. Our summer is this big. It has gone from this big to just this big and this much. We used to have such a long summer. Our summer would start in the spring and last really through, a good part of October-ish. And now it goes through really the end of October, but doesn't start until almost July. So, yeah, and we get no snow, but yet nothing's changed. I don't know. Are dinosaurs gonna start popping up again? I don't know. They might. They might. So anyway, Jaws turns 50. Happy anniversary to Jaws, and might be something you wanna go watch this weekend just 'cause you remember the movie. Hello to Peter and hello to Nancy. Thank you so much for joining today. And who else, we're gonna talk about right now is Nirvana. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I was never really a Nirvana fan, I have to say. I just wasn't. However, they're part of our culture and our history, and, I respect them for what they did in bringing in grunge. I just I just wasn't a Nirvana listener, and I still am not. However, many people do, and many people did, and many people continue to follow their music and listen to it. But Smells Like Teen Spirit just received the accolade of reaching 2 billion views. 2 billion views on YouTube. That is, insane. It's all of our music is, achieving these milestones. And a fun fact about Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit is that the title came from a friend of Kurt Cobain who actually wrote on Kurt's wall, "Kurt smells like teen spirit." And I guess the friend wasn't aware that Teen Spirit was an actual deodorant brand. Remember, I used to use Teen Spirit. Why? I mean, was Teen Spirit any different than regular deodorant? No. Was it gentler because I was using it as a teenager and I was younger? No. It probably was the same chemicals. Like, now I'm so afraid to even use deodorant. I feel like they keep, "Oh, deodorant that what is in deodorant? That's so bad now." But they're saying don't use it. So, like, maybe you should just use witch hazel or something like that, but it doesn't work as good. It just you need to have, I think the deodorant stick is just, it's so much better. I like it. But anyway, because I feel like if we're gonna go from anything. We can go from anything. Doesn't matter. Deodorant, microwave, waves, anywho. And let's see. So, uh, it says that Kathleen Hanna of Bikini Kill wrote it as a joke, referencing a deodorant worn by Cobain's girlfriend, Toby Vale. But allegedly, Kurt didn't know what Teen Spirit was, thought it was just some phrase, and he ended up using it as their song title, which is kind of crazy. And let's see. Let's go over to Billboard here. Let me share my screen. Billboard. See what they have to say about it. Let's make sure you can play it. Yes, ma'am. So there's Kurt right there, the late Kurt Cobain. And so Smells Like Teen Spirit came out in 1991. And when they went on MTV, of course, it just went crazy. And that's when all of the groups that we love, once grunge came in, our pop bands pretty much took a backseat to Nirvana and the likes of Nirvana. And that's when music really had a pivotal change, don't you think? And let's see, the majority of YouTube music videos with 2 billion views or more are from pop, Latin, country, and hip hop artists, including Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Maroon 5, Katy Perry, Enrique Iglesias. And there are a handful of other rock videos that have reached this total milestone. 21 Pilots, Imagine Dragons, Guns N' Roses, Linkin Park. And let's see, Smells Like Teen Spirit was first uploaded to YouTube in 2009, hit the 1 billion mark in 2019. So it took a decade for it to hit that mark. 2 months after it was released, the song that defined a generation topped Billboard's alternative songs chart on November 23rd of 1991 and peaked at number 6, which is kind of amazing, right? Because the band was so pivotal, you would have thought that song would have reached number 1. However, not everybody was into grunge. I mean, of course, so many people were, still are, but there were people who weren't, you know? Yeah, and that's that. So, do you listen to Nirvana? Do you like Smells Like Teen Spirit? Are you a grunge fan? Do you like it all? Some people just like it all. I just was not a grunge person. I just wasn't. No, no, no. But we gotta get into the Zach Starkey drama. Can we just talk about this? I mean, Zach Starkey, for those of you who know, he is the son of Ringo Starr. Now, he was the drummer for The Who for a long time, like decades. I don't know, since what, the 90s or something like that. But recently, Zach was fired. Now, there's been a controversial discussion going on. Was Zach fired? Did he leave? Yada, yada, yada. Roger Daltrey's like, everything's good. No, not good at all because there's a lot of stuff that's coming out now. Zach is just letting it fly. Now, Ringo came out, and this is according to people.com, and he defended his son, Zach. Why wouldn't he? Against The Who's Roger Daltrey amid drummer drama. And he called him, Ringo called Roger a little man. Now, I personally think if I was a dude and someone called me a little man, that would probably spark an altercation. I mean, I don't know. I would think that being called a little man is no bueno at all. Like if someone were to call Al a little man, I think he'd be pissed. I I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm reading into it a little too much, but I would think that's not a nice thing to say. Mm. Yeah, so Zach was with The Who for about 30 years. And Ringo did, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Where did Ringo say this? Okay. I don't know where Ringo said it, but Ringo came out and said, "I've never liked the way that little man runs that band." And Ringo, who is 84 years old, was probably most likely referring to Roger Daltrey. And Zach said, "I'm very proud of him for standing up for me." And Zach just did an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, which just came out on June 16th. And he talked about his gigs with The Who and how, Ringo just supported him all along the way. Roger and his team have not released any type of statement for these sayings, but I do think it's kind of funny that Ringo said that. Anywho, yeah, so Zach was with The Who for about 30 years. And back in April, it was a big to do that Zach was let go from The Who. I don't know. They did this big event. What was it at London's O2 Arena? As if I remember, but I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And he was let go, but then he was brought back for a moment and then let go again. So I didn't, is kind of everything was up in the air. And when this all happened, Pete Townsend came out and said that Zach was not leaving the band. Pete said, and I quote, "There have been some communication issues, personal and private, on all sides that needed to be dealt with, and these have been aired happily." And this is what Pete Townsend wrote on Instagram. But then we go from April to May, and The Who announced that Zach was leaving again. So now you're going, what is really going on behind the scenes there? And The Who wrote, "After many years of great work on drums from Zach, the time has come for a change." And that does happen sometimes. Sometimes bands need a change. And The Who went on to say, "A poignant time." And Pete said, "Zach has lots of new projects in hang, and I wish him the best." All right. So you're thinking, okay, well, Zach's going to go off and do his own thing. He's been with The Who for a long time. Okay. Okay. So Ringo came out and posted on his Instagram account saying that Zach was fired. He did not quit. And Zach said, oh, Zach came out on his Instagram account and he said, I was fired 2 weeks after reinstatement and asked to make a statement saying I had quit The Who to pursue my other musical endeavors. This would be a lie. Okay, so The Who asked Zach, they told him what to say, and he probably thought about it and said, no, I'm not going to do what they want me to do because they fired me. And he said, I love The Who and would never had quit, so I didn't make the statement. Quitting The Who would have also let down the countless amazing people who stood up for me. Thank you all a million times over and more through the weeks of mayhem of me going in and out and in and out and in and out, in and out and in, like a bleeding squeeze box. I mean, that was pretty good on his part. So then Zach made another update and said, noise and confusion. I had a great phone chat with Roger Daltrey at the end of last week, which truly confused both of us. He wrote on his Instagram on May 26th. Raj said I hadn't been fired. I had been retired to work on my own projects. I explained to Raj that I have just spent nearly 8 weeks at my studio in Jamaica completing these projects, that my group Mantra of the Cosmos was releasing one single at the beginning of June, and after that had run its course, usually 5 to 6 weeks. And he continued to say I was completely available for the foreseeable future. And Raj said, oh, and we kind of left it there on good terms and great friends as we have always been. Gotta love these guys. As my mom used to say, the mind boggles. XXX. Okay. So then Rolling Stone asked Zach who he blamed for the Who firing. And Zach said, I don't hold any grudges. I don't blame anyone. It's the Who. Weirder SH blank blank than this has gone down. I've heard them say weirder SH blank blank than this. It's the Who, the maddest band there's ever been. Okay, so then we move on to something that just came out a few days ago on June 16th. And this is from the New York Post.com. And he says that the altercation with the Who's Roger Daltrey is the thing that got him fired. So I don't know. Let's see what's going on here. Zach addressed his shocking exit from the band in a new interview he did with The Telegraph, which came out on Monday, June 16th. And this is probably going to tell the story of what really happened. So in April, The Who, as we already mentioned, announced that they were parting ways with Zach. After their show at the Royal Albert Hall in the UK, so it wasn't the O2 Arena. And let's see, Bill Murray was there, Tracy Ann Oberman, Paul McKenna. It was a big show. Big show. And after that big show, he was let go. Well, everything changed when in May, Zach announced again he was out of the band again. I know I'm kind of repeating myself. This is a newer article. I don't want to miss anything. So now Zach is saying just recently he was kicked out of The Who because of what happened between him and Roger. Zach said, what happened was I got it right and Roger Daltrey got it wrong, referring to the rare performance of The Song Is Over at London's Royal Albert Hall. After his second firing, it was alleged that Starkey's bandmates weren't happy with his performance at the event. But Zach says it wasn't his performance that was the problem. Zach told the interviewer that the Who band members hate rehearsing noting that they rarely perform their 6-minute song from 1971, "The Song Is Over." But according to Zach, Roger took a bit out for the show. Roger came in a bar early, Zach told the interviewer. Zach also said that 1 week later, the band's manager, Bill Kerbishley, called to fire him. So a week later, a whole week went by. And Zach says, the manager said, "It's my unfortunate duty to inform you, it's like porridge or something, that you won't be needed from now on. Roger says you dropped some beats." Wow. And this is alleged from Zach. Zach did watch the performance and said he couldn't find any dropped beats, saying that Pete Townsend had to go along with it because Pete's had 60 years of arguing with Roger. But it didn't stop there. Zach said that he still wanted to be back in the band after the argument, but he was allegedly instructed that he needed to admit he dropped 2 beats in the performance. So they wanted Zach to say, "Listen, I effed up. I effed up." But 2 weeks later, Roger says he can't work with you no more, and we'd like you to issue another statement saying you're leaving to do other projects, and I just didn't do it because I wasn't leaving. Adding that they didn't specify why they fired him the second time. So clearly, it's something like they just don't want him anymore. They just don't want him there. That's what happens when you get fired. People just don't want you. They want you out, whether it's because you're getting paid too much, they don't like you, or a combination of the two. Those are the 3 things. And Zach went on to say he still doesn't have any hard feelings, but how can you not? When you're with a band or you're with anybody for 30 years, how can you not have any hard feelings? I don't know. I don't know if I truly believe that. And Zach said he spoke to Roger last week and he said, "Don't take your drums out of the Who's warehouse yet, just in case we need you." And Zach said to him, "Best let me know." So they're playing with him now. It's kinda like a cat and a mouse thing, here's some cheese on a string, and once the mouse gets closer, we're gonna pull the cheese a little bit further. So they're dangling. They're dangling the cheese. I could say carrot, but I like cheese better. Rabbits like carrots. I put carrots out every day for the rabbits, they eat them. Every day. 2 large carrots that I get from Market Basket in this big, 5-pound bag, and I go through bags of carrots. It's crazy. So Zach didn't just expose the alleged altercation that he says got him fired, but he's also alleging that he turned down the offer to tour with Oasis for the Who gig. And I don't think the Who has come out and said anything. However, let's see, Pete Townsend came out and said, "After many years of great work on drums from Zach, the time has come for a change," which we already talked about. And that was on his Instagram. But after that statement, Zach came out and said, "I was fired 2 weeks after reinstatement." And then he was asked to make the statements. Okay, so we heard all of that. Now, Pete Townsend just came out, and this is from Ultimate Classic Rock. And this was on today. Actually, this came out a few hours ago. Pete Townsend doesn't understand what Zach Starkey did wrong. So Pete's in the band. He's there. He doesn't know what happened. It's either money, they don't like you, or a combination of the 2, right? So maybe Roger and Zach weren't connecting. They weren't vibing. They weren't feeling it from each other. That's what you gotta kinda take away from all of this now, right? Reading all of this again and again, that's what I take away from it, but maybe you have a different theory and you can put it in the comments. So Pete Townsend came out and he still doesn't fully understand what happened to Zach and why he got fired. He knows that Roger was not happy with his performance at that show in London in April. But let's see what he says. I gotta find let's see. You got a call from the manager. We already went over that. Okay. So Pete just did an interview with iPaper, and he actually agrees with Zach and says that Zach's performance was fine that night. There was nothing wrong with it. He didn't see him dropping a beat. Pete says, and this is a quote from Peter, I couldn't see anything wrong. What you see is a band who haven't played together for a long time, but I think it was probably to do with the sound. I've lost my sound man as a result. Okay, so what happened to the sound guy? Did he get fired after that show too? What pops into our heads? But Journey, sound guy got fired. It was the sound person's fault. Okay, so this is kind of the same thing, maybe, sort of, kind of, maybe allegedly. And Pete continued to say, I think Roger just got lost. Roger's finding it difficult. I have to be careful what I say about Roger because he gets angry if I say anything about him at all. He'll be sacking me next. But that's not to say that he sacked Zach. It's a decision Roger and I tried to make together, but it kind of got out of hand. Hmm. So who's wearing the pants in that family? Not Pete. And Pete said that it was Roger's original idea to bring Zach into The Who. I didn't invite him in, right? Roger invited him. And at that time, I don't know quite why he chose Zach, but Zach is another Keith Moon. He comes with real bonuses and real difficulties. What does that mean? The difficulties. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes that we're just not hearing about yet. Will we hear about them? We might not. But just by Pete making that statement, suggesting that Zach also comes with real difficulties, now you scratch the head going, oh, okay. All right. They had it out. That's exactly what happened. And in other music news, so, I guess there was a mandolin stolen from Heart. Did you know about that? No clue. I had no idea. This is from CBSnews.com. The title reads, "Second instrument stolen from rock band Heart in Atlantic City, New Jersey, recovered." So what happened to the first one? What? Who's stealing Heart's stuff? They shouldn't be doing don't take anything that's not yours. Just don't do that. My goodness. So the second instrument that was stolen from Hart was recovered, the Atlantic City Police Department said on Monday night. Police said the stolen 1966 Gibson EM50 mandolin was recovered after police received information about who may have the instrument. Well, that's good. At least someone ratted the person out. And they found the person, and the said person, surrendered the missing mandolin, police said. The mandolin will be turned over to reps of Hard Rock Atlantic City, who will then return the instrument to the Heart band members. Performer Paul Moak has played the mandolin for over 25 years, and it's from 1966, so that mandolin's got some life to it. I could not be prouder of the work done by the detectives in our criminal investigations section, Atlantic City Police Chief James A. Sarkos said in a statement. They understood the sentimentality of these instruments and worked incredibly hard to bring them home. The mandolin was one of two instruments stolen from Hart after they set up for a recent show in Atlantic City. So what was the other one? Do they say? Yeah, they do. Here we go. A purple Telecaster electric guitar, specially made for Nancy Wilson, was recovered last week. So, note to self, maybe either you don't want to perform in Atlantic City, which they're going to, or you have extra security for your instruments. Like, how does somebody walk out with something like that? Really? You got to think, wow, nobody's watching. People are on their phones, not paying attention, or security is really loosey goosey. It's a legend. I don't know a thing. However, you gotta kinda really wonder how 2 big pieces of equipment walk away from a band. You know, it's kinda hard to do that, I think. So Atlantic City police said the theft occurred after Hart set up gear ahead of a May 30th show at the Etes Arena at Hard Rock. And police went and looked at surveillance video to find their suspect, which that person was later identified as 57-year-old Garfield Bennett of Pleasantville. I mean, did Garfield really think, and I'm thinking about the cat right now, that's the vision I have in my head, but did Garfield really think he was going to be able to sell those instruments without getting caught? I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. I say it all the time, especially with AI now. Everyone's got a camera at their house. It's hard to get away with anything, you know? People see everything, they know everything, they film everything, everything, and you take that stuff even to a pawn shop, they're gonna look it up. These pawn shops now, they don't just take stuff. They look things up too to make sure you don't have a stolen item. Well, most pawn shops anyway, and they should be if they're not. So the footage did show Garfield handing the guitar to a woman that Garfield sold it to, and there's footage of that. There's footage of the exchange taking place, and it happened on the 1300 block of Pacific Avenue. Automatic license plate readers were then used to identify the woman's vehicle. Do you see what I'm saying? So maybe Garfield put it on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know. How did he sell it to an unidentified woman? But Sarkos gave a behind the scenes look at the technology used to recover the first instrument stolen from Hart. This is what I'm saying. You can't get away from with nothing. Just don't try. How about just not take anything that's not yours? Like maybe living by that rule is a good rule to live by. Maybe. Just think about it for a second. Oh my goodness. And REO Speedwagon, so much stuff going on with REO, guys. Wow. Wow. And this is a sad story. This is from the New York Post. REO Speedwagon singer Terry Luttrell injured in car crash after falling asleep behind the wheel hours after the band's farewell concert, minus Kevin Corona. Just saying. Kevin was not there. Terry Luttrell, he was injured in a car crash when he fell asleep behind the wheel just hours after performing at the band's farewell concert in Illinois. Now, this story came out a few days ago on June 19th. So it was early Sunday morning. Terry was driving on Interstate 57, about 30 miles south of Champaign, Illinois, where the concert was held. So he was doing some driving. The airbag went off and cracked my sternum a little bit. Luttrell told the News Gazette on Tuesday, I have a little back pain and neck pain. It's nothing that can't be overcome. But Terry admitted that he didn't get much rest before the crash. Well, if they did the show and then he just went driving home, there's not really much time to rest. So Terry sang with his former band on Saturday night during their Legacy of REO Speedwagon farewell concert at the State Farm Center, which is the band's hometown. But then Terry went to an after party and signed autographs for fans until 2 a.m. Okay, stop right there. And all I'm going to say is that's when, you know, they should have put him up in a hotel. I mean, it's 2 a.m. If you're out there with fans doing stuff, for the fans, that's when somebody should have stepped in and said, listen, we're giving you a room for the night. You're not driving. So who's responsible for that? You know what I mean? And oh, and he did have a hotel, but when he arrived at his hotel early Sunday, he was surprised by 40 additional fans who wanted autographs. Huh? So early Sunday. So all right, I'm getting a disconnect here. He got in the crash and then went to his hotel? I'm confused. What happened? What really happened? Going on into the article, the singer went to bed around 4:30 a.m. but didn't stay asleep for long. Okay, so it sounds like 2 a.m. came after signing autographs. Terry drove back to his hotel. Then there are more fans at his hotel. He went to bed at 4:30. He woke up a few hours later to drive to St. Louis about 3 hours after Champaign. He was in Champaign for a business trip. Don't know what the business trip was. Will they say? I don't know. But about 30 minutes into that drive, he fell asleep on Interstate 57. Yeah, the guy was exhausted out of his mind. And Terry said, "It just happened. I nodded off. I rolled the car over. Oh my gosh. And I woke up and I was in a cocoon because of the airbags. Unfortunately, it totaled the car. But he was still able to get up, get out of the car. Thank goodness." And he told the news outlet on Tuesday that he planned to stay at the hospital for a few days to receive rehab for the injuries he received. Kevin Cronin said, "I just heard about Terry Luttrell's car accident. I wish him the best on a speedy recovery." And Michael Messi, the band's drummer, claimed Luttrell feels grateful to be alive and is thankful for all the love and the prayers from fans. He is very blessed to have walked away from this accident, mainly a blessing from God and the airbags in his BMW, Messi told the Daily Mail. Luttrell left the band in 1972 and became the front man for Starcastle. And Kevin Cronin came in, but then he left and he went back. And we all know what happened like yesterday. So moving on to a social media post, Mark Shearholtz made a post on Facebook on May 23rd. So we're going back a little bit, but I actually just saw it. This is from the REO touring production manager's brother. This is so bad for all these crew members and band members in this band. Larry Richter on May 21st, but it wasn't was it Larry? Larry posted this, but okay, let's read it. Okay, we'll read the post here. Hi, friends. So I wanted to get the word out there that my brother, Mike Richter, is available for work as a touring production manager as of September 1st, 2025. After 18 years with REO Speedwagon, who are no longer touring after this summer, as well as many tours as production manager for acts including Hart, Brian Setzer and the Stray Cats, Sammy Hagar, Pat Benatar, Neil Giraldo, amongst others. He is now available. Please don't miss this opportunity. He can be reached at tmr83312 at gmail.com. Thanks all. So, because I just saw the post, I went fishing around and I'm not finding anything about Kevin Cronin announcing that the Kevin Cronin band is done after this Brotherhood of Rock tour. Is that what it's called? Let me go to Kevin Cronin's site here, Brotherhood of Rock. And on kevincronin.com, under tour dates, you see all of the dates that he's doing with Styx and Don Felder. He's got, let's see, Styx, Don Felder, but I don't know if they're performing all dates all together. I'm not sure about that. I don't think so, but I could be mistaken. So the tour is going through August 24th. It ends in Milwaukee at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater. But now on Kevin's site on February 23rd of 2026 is a Rock Legends cruise going out of Fort Lauderdale. Now let's see what the details say there, because if the Kevin Cronin band is not performing together, this concert is still out there. So let's go ahead and share this screen just so you can see what I'm looking at. Oh, and then there's a car ad. Nope, has nothing to do with anything. Why did they do that? Can you just tell me? Let's close out of that. Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon. And this came right from Kevin's website at kevincronin.com. Rock Legends Cruise 2026, February 23rd. Kevin Cronin Band. And it's still right there. Can we make it bigger? No, but we can go all the way down here. Let's just show more dates. See if it's still on this site. And it is. It's still here. What does this mean? I don't know. Because again, let me just stop sharing that one. I'm going to go over here and share Kevin's site, because that's where I pulled it from. I pulled that schedule right from Kevin's site, kevincronin.com/tour, #tour. It's there. And the details, it brings you right there. Well, right to the Band is in Town page. So yeah, I did go fishing around. I see nothing. I see nothing about Kevin making an announcement that he's not doing this anymore with his current band. Is he choosing a new band? I don't know. I really don't know. If you guys know, let us know in the comments. And that announcement was made in May. As I said, I'm just seeing this now. So if you know anything, Ario Gina probably knows, because she knows everything. She went to the after party, I guess, last night for Ario Speedwagon, minus Kevin Cronin. He was not there. I don't know. I just, there's always something new in REO land. It's just, I kind of thought Kevin would announce something, so maybe he'll be announcing it soon. Yeah. And that's all I got for today, guys. I'm going to go for a float. I'm going to go floating in my pool, and I cannot wait. It is like 1,000 degrees here, and it's only going to get worse. So stay safe, everybody. In the heat wave, the most of the country is getting this week, from what I understand. And also, on a more serious note, we have a lot going on in the world right now. I'm not doing the whole politics thing. However, you know, what's going on overseas, all I can say is I just want to, my true love for the people who are getting hurt and everything. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of them. All of them. It must be very scary. It must be just an unbelievably god awful time for the folks that are suffering overseas. And all I can say is let's just pray for them. If you pray, please, and pray for ourselves. A lot going on, lots and lots going on in the world today. So I just say, hugs to each and every one of you. Pray for our safety, pray for our freedom, pray for everybody else's freedom as well. And pray for the good people that are out there. Truly, pray for the good people. And sending love to each and every one of you. Thank you always for being here. Thank you for everything you do. And, enjoy your friends and family today. All right, guys. I love you, love you, love you. And I will hopefully see you soon. Have an amazing day and have an amazing everything.